All right, guys, so I'm going to do another quick video here. This is a 60-inch ramp with a swing arm assembly. I've been hesitant to sell these. People have been asking, but I kind of been telling people no because I was having a stabilization issue. But I've decided to give it another shot, and this is what I came up with. It is a two-tier with a handheld. And you can see it installs as a retrofit piece, so there's no welding. If you buy this, you can install it on one of the ramps that I've already sold. The last maybe 30 ramps, last 20 or 30 ramps, maybe the last 2 months, will fit these. The earlier ramps unfortunately will not. So anyway, I'm going to put this camera on a tripod and just kind of simulate the operation of it. It has a latch, and it's, just kind of, it has two plates that sandwich in the expanded for the latch on this side. And then on this side, it bolts to one of the dovetail end bolts on the bottom. And then there is a bracket that hooks on this piece and bolts into the top. And that's really all there is to installing the arm. You'll have to, put the swing arm probably together and install the springs. But I've made it easy to install these as well. So, oh yeah, so here's some other things. This is obviously the top. The bottom here has a bump out, and it's just to make room for the backpack, or for the handheld blower. I don't know why I keep saying that. So that's kind of the design that I've come up with, and it's kind of like the Jungle Gyms rack design. These will have some pads on them here. And I'm sure you've probably seen how these work, and this will be where the lock is. The lock will just kind of have an arm that swings around and and then it'll padlock here in the middle. And then, it obviously, if somebody wants your equipment, they'll get it. My designs are more specific for quick operation and simple design. I know Green Touch and Equipment Defender have all those aluminum blocks and, clips and springs, and they're definitely great, but like I said, I'm more of a simplistic kind of person. And I've put them far enough out where you don't have to worry about an engine support. That's kind of something new to me. I've been doing exterior maintenance, I should say, not lawn care, but I've certainly cut my fair share of grass. And I've never really seen a need for the engine supports, but I've noticed that a lot of guys are mounting their arms or their brackets in far enough that they kind of, the weight of the engine does kind of bend a little. So that's kind of, I don't know, maybe that's just the way people do it, but I've never done it like that because I've always built my own equipment. So anyway, so you shouldn't have any issues there. Like I said, there'll be some rubber hose sleeved on here to prevent, any real damage. And then, the handheld blower is just some expanded metal. I kicked around the idea of making it out of square tube and, made it a little heavy. And then I thought about angle iron and a bunch of other things, and I just kind of settled on expanded metal. For one, it's light, it's cheap, it's strong. And, it does the job. Again, the lock on this will probably end up being something similar to a cable or a chain. And I'll just weld it in place, and you can kind of just feed it through here and then, padlock it to another piece of the expanded. I may weld in a plate and drill a hole through it or something. But again, if somebody wants your stuff, they're going to take it. My locking mechanisms are more just, I lock it up so I can run into Home Depot or Lowe's. I don't leave my stuff outside at nighttime. I mean, I live in a place where I could, but I don't typically. So anyway, ramble. I'm going to put this on the tripod and just kind of simulate the operation, and then that'll be it. truck's not level, so I got my leg swinging down there. Anyway, I wanted to kind of give you an angle here that shows I've got the arm opening a little bit more than 90 degrees to give some room for, you know, if you're taking a zero turn up here or something, you don't bump it with your you know, your operation bar or whatever. And then I'll show a view of it from kind of up in the truck. Kind of see it's a clear path. And then maybe off the side of the truck here you can see. So if you pull up to your yard, you'll probably have to make sure, at least on this one, you'll have to make sure that you're, you know, on the passenger side. The arm is interchangeable. You can put it on this side. The only thing is that if you do, you know, the trimmers will still have to stay in this orientation going that way. And even these, I kicked around the idea trying to make them interchangeable, but because of the way that these are, you know, if I put this on that side, it won't work properly. So, so if you do end up ordering a swing arm after I get the price and the shipping and stuff figured out, this is kind of an introductory thing for the guy who bought this ramp. Once I get the numbers figured out, I'll give you the option in there to buy either a right hand or a left hand, and then I'll explain which side is right, which side is left. Or maybe make it simple and say it swings to the driver's side or the passenger side. And then also whether you want the heads of the trimmers, you know, towards the passenger side or driver's side or whatever. At least that way there'll be options. And then, you know, the handheld blower rack should hold pretty much any handheld blower. There's not really much to it. But again, I am going to be doing a backpack blower rack for the stake pocket. I've already got the stake pocket mounts figured out. I know I probably said that in another video, but because I've gotten so busy, I haven't had any time to do any development, which kind of makes me a little sad because I wanted to be able to introduce those before the grass cut season starts. But anyway, I know this was a rambler, but I just wanted to show the swing arm. I'll do a couple of close shots of what everything looks like here. Most of this is just tacked together. It's not welded out yet. And I'll try to get some caps for these if I can find some. And again, the way that this will lock is there'll just be a pivot bar that has a, you know, a beam here so that it'll come across, and then you can kind of padlock it down here. When I get that done, I'll show the mounting points. And that's pretty much it. The backpack, or the handheld. I don't know. It's like I'm just stuck on backpacks. But anyway, the handheld blower does come off. So if you don't like it or you don't want it or whatever, you know, you can take it off later or put your own backpack blower rack on here maybe. And if you did do a backpack, I think you'd have to kind of separate this one from this one a little farther, make a bigger space. But other than that, that's it. I'll do an update when this this swing arm is all the way done, and maybe another one when I do that backpack blower finally. All right, guys, I'll talk with you.